Can an old dog learn new tricks? I'm talking about Dun and Bradstreet. D&B for all you home gamers. The world's leading source of commercial credit information, controls 80% of the industry. Dun and Bradstreet's been around for 173 years. It counts 90% of the Fortune 500 as its clients. 60% of its business comes from subscriptions, where companies sign long-term contracts for access to Dun and Bradstreet's commercial credit data and analysis. However, the trouble with being a 173-year-old company is that you're operating in a pretty mature industry at this point, and when your business is dealing in information, the fact that we're now in the digital age represents a real challenge, as it's much easier for competitors just to copy trade data, which historically is what Dun & Bradstreet has relied on better than anyone. And that's why last October, the company brought in fellow Philadelphia native Bob Carrigan as CEO to put their business on a sustainable long-term growth path. At first, I think the expectations got out of hand. Not the fault of the company. Stock roared after Carrigan came in, but then took a vicious tumble when the company reported at the beginning of February, and it became apparent that the turnaround wouldn't happen overnight. It might not be apparent until the results of next year, hence why the stock fell $10 in single session. Since then, though, the stock is almost back to where it was before it reported in February, and its most recent quarter, which we saw at the end of April, pretty solid. Oh, and Dun & Bradstreet has bought back 58% of its share count since 2007, which is a pretty remarkable buyback that shows no signs of letting up, although we got to find out whether they're investing in new business, too. Can a new CEO modernize this incredibly venerable company? Let's take a closer look with Bob Carrigan, President and CEO of Dun & Bradstreet, get a better sense of how his business is doing and where it is headed. Mr. Carrigan, welcome to Mad Money.
Jim.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
All right, Philadelphia native. Thank you so much for coming. Well, my dad, who lived right around the block from you when my father was growing up, as a salesperson, always relied on Dun & Bradstreet, would be out selling a customer, boxes and bags to retailers, the rest of us, and then come right back and find out how they were doing in his Dun & Bradstreet book. That doesn't work anymore, does it?
Well, it doesn't work in the same way it did that way.
Right.
We certainly have the same indispensable content, which is data and analytics and insights. But today it's about making our data and insights available through more modern ways.
Right,
like
so he would have a handheld now when we look.
Exactly.
Right?
So
now, how do you distinguish yourself? Because I go onto Hoover's, which is a site owned by you,
one of our brands.
And then they have Competitor and they have Experian. So I go into Experian's website and they claim they've got the same data that you have.
Well, look, we have 30,000 sources of data. Right? We have trade data, and increasingly we have more social and signal data, right? And so we have a database that's the largest commercial database in the world, 235 million businesses globally. So we've mapped the global business landscape, right? It's updated 5 million times a day. So we have a substantial advantage over our competitors. And then it's also about making that data available in modern ways.
Okay, now, right on your webpage, this is a great thing. It says 260 businesses file for bankruptcy every day. If you have both the trade data and you're looking at the social media data, is that because you have to be suspicious? Because a guy who takes an order down and the company goes bankrupt in the interim is a guy who really hurt his business.
Well, exactly. See, customers today, they want all the foundational data that we've always given them, the stuff your dad looked at.
Yeah.
But they increasingly want also some modern data sets, right? So they want social as well. And so for us, it's about structured and unstructured data, unstructured meaning social and signal data, and making that available to our customers. But also, it's not just about risk. A lot of our customers are using this data for sales and marketing purposes.
Right.
Fully a third of
CRM.
our business is in sales and marketing solutions. So they're using this data to get information about the customers that they should be pursuing.
And you have partnerships, Salesforce, Sugar. These are important, I imagine. Do your people, can they download a particular app if they work for you that they can then dial into?
So with our alliance strategy,
right,
best companies like Salesforce, et cetera, we're making our data available natively into those environments. So if you're a Salesforce CRM customer, right, our data is available to make sure that the data that you put in is clean and optimized and accurate, because that's really the key to having a great CRM experience. Not just the great software application in the cloud, but it's about having the best data.
But I also see that you've got a terrific, because I went back in time and looked, economist. And I'm wondering why we don't use your data regularly like I do with paychecks. Because they seem to be, you know small business better than anyone, I think, in the country.
Yes.
How are we doing?
Well, Paul Ballou, our chief economist, is terrific, and love to make him available for your show.
Okay.
And so, because it's critical for us, like Paul has a wealth of information, right? We have this gigantic commercial database, and so we can see trends. So we don't just have data, but we also have analytics, tools that help see business trends and help understand where the risks are and where the opportunities are. And so our economists look at our data and try to interpret sources and trends and we communicate that to our customers.
Right, because it's the most empirical look at business you could possibly have, your company.
Absolutely, the largest commercial database in the world.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm excited about it. I know I don't want to get ahead because I know you in all your things, you said, listen, it's a multi-year thing that you're trying to do, but I think you're going to be multiple years successful. That's Bob Carrigan, who's president and CEO of Dun and Bradstreet, symbol DNB. This is a company that I think is going to do a lot of things over multiple years that are very positive. Don't move. Lightning round is next.